in a bid to make money,
Man,
things
man,
that you
man.
have done. What's the difference between you and the colonial master?
Personally, I think that values from childhood are the things that still keep us in line or keep me in line. Because there are sometimes, I don't know if you ever feel it, that you want to do something even now in your old age, and one voice will be telling you, or something will be holding your body, you'll be doing you like this, that don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
When I say competition, it's not like I'm trying to be better, but it's just so I don't want him to know my mess up.
When you are going through the worst things, it's your friends that you need to talk to, like your close friends, and the ones that you need to talk to, because they're the ones that will help you and drag you out. We have to individually figure out when it's time to ask for help. That doesn't mean that you should open your ear and shout side. The problem I find is that because everybody tries to form and tries to keep that I've got it together vibe, that's what causes the problem.
If you're in need of prayer, I would pray. If you're in need of money, I will send it.
Okay, that's good. No. Everybody, you heard that too. Yeah?
No, that's the truth. If I have it that time, I would. It's just the way it is.
Don't say if I have it. You can borrow on my
No, I will always have it.
Your closest friends are the people that, even if they cannot give you a job at that time, they lift your spirits, because that is what you need to be, in that state where you don't feel down, you don't feel, everything is not working, and then now you now start taking drastic measures.
If there's an underlying pride where you cannot open up, when you start to see that people cannot open up, pride is locking somewhere for whatever. It looks like the person is, yes, obviously maybe depressed or going through a lot. One of the underappreciated people are children church leaders. Children church leaders are not appreciated because, one, they're not even in the main auditorium. They are really, sometimes they're not even pastors. So they don't get seed. Nobody is sowing into their life. Is that one thing that builds friendships, a lot of forgiving. It's a lot of good day, people. You're welcome to another episode of Live Moments with Timi, and I remain Oluwatimileyin Ayekiton. And on today's episode is something, or let me say, someone that is unique. It's my guy. I know that I say this a lot of times, but that's the whole point of this, is to bring my guys. And this is another my guy. The only guy that
the guy's guy.
Let me not say too much. Yeah, Nosa or Wisdom. Introduce yourself.
Am I introducing myself to you? I'm introducing myself to everybody.
Yeah, introducing yourself to the world now. So introduce yourself.
Okay. In that case, my name is Nosa. Yes, now
Nosa,
my name is Nosa.
Wisdom.
No, my name is Nosa. It's no Wisdom. But if I'm introducing myself to the world, only people that know me from house know me as Wisdom. So
okay.
But yeah. What else? How does this go? Am I supposed to give my life history? Or
I say introduce yourself.
Yeah, I've introduced myself. My name is Nosa Odiase.
Introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Nosa Odiase, and I'm an engineer by trade. What else? I like to make fun.
Yeah, you find boys sometimes.
I'm a fine boy all the time. We are part of the founding fathers of the Fresh Boys Association. So we are keeping it like that. It's just one or two belly starting to show, but we work on it. But yeah. So how far?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But you're welcome again. It's good to have you.
Thanks, man.
One of the reasons that you're here is because of awesome conversation. Every time that we have to talk, it's always something that, that feeling that I should have recorded this, because if I ever want to just, it's always a refreshing time, really. Yeah. So I want us to get to know you as a person, and I want to just do like a quick background of your, how you have been from start, your quick background, how did you grow up till now, and then we can take it further.
How did I grow up? Background. So I'm a Lagos boy, right? Born in Lagos.
That's giddy for shit.
Yes, now born in Lagos. Funny thing, I don't know if you know this one, Timi, but I was actually born in, is it Isolo? I was born in Isolo. Yeah.
Do you
I
know
was
too
actually.
that I was born? Do you know that I was born in Surulere?
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Exactly.
But I was born in Isolo, and I went to one school there called St. Mary's. And
Oh,
yeah, I did St. Mary's for like I think 3 or 4 years. I can't remember. What I remember though is that we moved from Isolo to Bagba, right? Which is in
Fakoijayi.
Fakoijayi. Yes. And then we moved there. I was probably around like 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. That was like maybe 1994, 1993, 1994, that period. And then that's where I lived right up to like 2005 before we now moved to Obawole. But most of my childhood was in Bagba, right? So at least I was there right up until I finished secondary school for sure. Because we moved to Obawole, I think 2005. And I'd finished secondary school 2004. Yeah, actually, yeah. So I was already in uni when we left. So right up till then, my whole childhood definitely was in Bagba. Then I went to St. Mary's. I went to Rolam on Iju Road for primary school. I went to Rolam for on Iju Road.
I don't think it's there any longer.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure.
I
I
think Rolam is still there, but I think I heard that the headmistress, Mrs. Makonjola, I think she's late now. I can't remember. And then her daughter has taken over the school, but I think it's still there.
I'm not sure.
I think it's still there. During Ike's wedding, last time I was in Nigeria, I went to Iju Road, but I didn't get to Rolam side because the road, that whole place has changed now.
Yeah, true.
It has really changed because I used to trek from home to Rolam, and now when I look at the distance I used to trek, I don't think I will trek it now.
Because you're in Canada. If
No,
you're
it's
in
not
like
even-
maybe UK, you would trek it.
Are you sure?
You might have to sometimes.
Or more? I don't know, man, because it's a long distance, so that's why we're not far or small.
You're talking of Rulam. Should we talk about Somori?
Somori was. It's true. Somori too was. But are you trekking to
See?
Somori or you're entering transport?
I was trekking now, Baba. What are you saying? Should we talk about sometimes from Barache?
Barache was close to your house, Joe.
Baba, it's not Mojisola Barache. Oh. It's
Are you
Agbado
serious?
Barache. Oh.
Are you serious?
Sometimes we just trek it because you want extra cash. You want to keep the
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Secondary
So
school, I trek from. So okay,
you,
so after
you
Roland,
put Emmanuel and
Precious.
which was true slavery.
It was not slavery. It was a test of character. I built your character.
In a bid to make money, things that you have done. What's the difference between you and the colonial masters?
I did not colonize anybody. I convinced them. Two different things. But
Okay.
on a more serious note, Sha, those times, like the distances I trekked, like I walked as a young person, I know for sure I can't walk it now. Like for sure, it's not possible because Timi, we walked from Air Force Secondary School to Ikeja under bridge through the back roads, and then there are times that we trek from Penn Cinema. That's Penn Cinema. That's where the railway is, and we trek to the house.
That's Capitol Road, you know.
Yes, Capitol Road side. Yes, we trek from there to the house. Like
The struggle was real.
Yeah, like it was crazy. And when I think about it now, I'm like, I can't believe that I used to do that, and sometimes more than twice a week, just because I wanted to eat fish, fried fish, or whatever, or hot or whatever, or I've spent the money to play game, and then I say, well,
And you will still go to school the next day.
and I'll go to school the next day.
That's the thing. You will still go to school.
But
You
so I
can't
was
wake
saying
up and
that.
say I'm tired.
Which one is you're tired? If you're tired, you will sleep early. That's the funny thing, because our parents do not used to bother. They will be happy if you sleep early, because it's a good thing. They don't have to bother about you. Do you get? It's when they have to change you to sleep every night that is a problem.
That
But
is
if
the
they have
problem,
it,
really.
yes, like if you tire out by yourself and you go to bed by yourself, it's a good thing for our parents. You don't need to bother. So, anyways, before I go off track, so I went to Rolam. I finished my primary school in Rolam. Then I went to St. Gregory's College. I did 3 years in St. Gregory's College. I was in boarding house. Then from St. Gregory's College, I went to Air Force Secondary School. And from Air Force Secondary School, I went to Univen for 2 years for a diploma in chemical engineering. Then from Univen, I went to Covenant for 5 years, bachelor's in mechanical engineering. Then from there, I went to Aberdeen in the UK, in Scotland, for about 2 years plus for
That was what
my
period?
master's. That was around 2013 to like 2015.
15, okay.
Yeah, because I remember it was just around when Buhari entered power for the first time. So I left in 2013 and then I came back in 2015. And yes, I did my master's in oil and gas engineering.
That means it was early 2015 you came back.
Yeah, it was early 2015. If I remember correctly, I think so. Because now dates and times, it's hard to.
I'm telling you, yeah,
be sure. So, and disclaimer: anything I say is to the best of my knowledge, because the older I get, the harder it is to remember things. So, to the best of my knowledge, I'm giving you gist. That's like pretty much my education. But talking about how I ran into you and our childhood, I always say that you're one of the last friends I made that is still my friend today from our childhood days, because I think I met you in 1999, and before then I had known all of our childhood friends. I had known them like from 94.
But Coyote came later too.
Coyote, yes, I said you and Coyote were the last two. Coyote, I met. Coyote's story is also a funny one because
I think
I met Coyote
was
through
like
his
20.
elder brother.
That was 2021 or so.
It was
either 2020 or 2021. I be 2001.
It was
sorry.
2001, probably 2001 or 2000. Because,
2000, yeah.
Yeah, because it was through his elder brother Jide. I met Jide it has to be 2000. It has to be 2000, most likely, because I was already in St. Gregory's 1998, and I met Jide in school, and Jide was my senior, and Jide was trying to either beat me or buga me, and I now saw Jide on the streets in Mojisola later. On my way to go and meet Jide, that you should be you that wanted to beat me. You know, that kind of thing in school the other day. And Jide too was like, who is this one? Who is this? Now, what do you want to do? You want us to fight? So it was from Jide that I now met Coyote, his younger brother. And that's how me and Coyote actually met first. It was then, they started coming to our church and everything now he now joined our group of friends. But Coyote's story was funny because Najidi I won't go drag say Shebi you want to beat me from school and B. Shebi be there outside now.
And if we check Jide will still beat you for outside, but
he will still beat me for outside. He will still beat me anyhow.
But for the culture.
I have to tell you that time when I did St. Greg's, I didn't fear anybody. It's a good thing that my mother took me out of that school because I would have probably been a tout. Probably been a tout.
We can't really say so. And we can't even say if you're not a tout now, but moving on.
Well,
so
the right circumstances call for the right reactions.
So if you look at your childhood and you look at now, do you think there were values that you picked then that you're still using now? Or
do I think there were what?
There were values from your childhood that you're still using now. That's one. Then two, if there was something about your childhood that you would have or that you would love to change, what would it be?
When you say values from childhood, I think personally, that values from childhood are the things that still keep us in line or keep me in line till now. Like now, we kind of grew in like a community, friends and families, and from church. So our families were close, my friends were close. I could come to your house. There was like a shared accountability of some sort amongst our parents.
Every family, yeah.
Yes, exactly. There was that sense of shared accountability, and that's one thing that I take.
It's lacking now.
It's lacking now. But those things that were imbibed in us, from my parents, especially my mom, because of my dad's job, he wasn't always around. But those values, Christian church, because there are some times, I don't know if you ever feel it, that you want to do something, even now in your old age, and one voice will be telling you, or something will be holding your body, will be doing you like this, that don't do it. And
you'll be surprised that you'll be reading the Bible or you're trying to get a knowledge, and it is something that was from teens camp.
Yes.
That you remember that was preached in that same verse maybe years ago. Yes. That happens all the time.
When you talk about values, like first of all, I value friendship a lot, and that's because, again, growing up, there were some friends that I made and we made, and that till today I still feel that I am accountable to. I also feel that there's a shared form of accountability amongst us. I was talking to somebody, I said my friends from then are still the people that will ground me more than any other person that I've met in my life. And I was trying to explain to him that I am more worried about my friend, my direct friend, coming to tell me, say, Wizzy, you fuck up. Say, how you go do this kind of thing? Like, if my friends are the ones that are coming to hold my neck, I feel it more than
even your parents sometimes.
Than even my parents, and sometimes even pastors. Like, I'm being honest, like, because the people that are the closest to me are the people that you don't want to disappoint. Does that make sense?
But is that safe too? Because you tend to start hiding things from your friends. You cannot have proper conversations because you're hiding your vulnerability now, because you feel it's like it is the checking now is more like, I hope it's not competition. And when I say competition, it's not like I'm trying to be better, but it's just so I don't want him to know my mess up. The
difference is that when I mess up, or if my friends mess up, we don't have, because of the way we grew up, right? That they are the only ones that can help you. Did you get? And that's one thing I used to say, that I was talking to a friend of mine recently. I was like, when you are going through the worst things, it's your friends that you need to talk to, like your close friends are the ones that you need to talk to, because they're the ones that will help you and drag you out of it.
That's your circle.
Yes, your circle. That's what I mean. And maybe I should.
No, it's fine. I'm just emphasizing what you're saying.
Yes, maybe I should say your circle, but that's kind of what I'm saying. That it's those people that you should not hide from, because when you hide from them, that's when you now disappoint. In the end, like, it's normal. You're going through something. You should be able to talk to your friends and say, guy, see as it be, I need help, or say as it be, this, that.
See, this is the ideal case, but I've noticed it's not always the case now. I see that you see friends trying to keep things away because they have maybe there's an history too, because you have to give everybody a benefit. There might have been an history of judging. Maybe there's also this high horse that this person has not messed up, I will now be the one to mess up. So you are trying to keep your own mess up to say, okay, because there's a lot of assumption. You just feel this guy is maybe doing good, maybe morally, might be spiritually, might be anything, and you don't want to fall below that part. So you try to keep your own struggles to sound deep and sound like you're in the right place, but really you are going through a lot. That happens because I've noticed that too.
So there's a balance, right? There's a balance, and the reason why I say that is because we have to individually figure out when it's time to ask for help, right? That doesn't mean that you should open your ear and shout sign and say, oh, This is how it is. So for me, where I'm going is before you start looking, and again, we're talking of your circle of friends, because your circle of friends are the people that really should know whether it's your history, whether like they know these things about you. If you like have 50 billion in your account, they are the same people that will come inside your house wearing slippers when everybody needs to go through secretary or whatever. And that's where I'm coming from, right? Because there's a balance to it, in the sense that you have to kind of figure out when to reach out and say this, that. Because the longer you stay, and it's the realization that the longer I stay like this, it's going to cause me problems. I need to talk to my guy. See. The problem I find is that because everybody tries to form and tries to keep that I've got it together vibe, that's what causes the problem. Because now, including the person that
a lot of problem, I'm telling you,
the person that you are thinking does not have problem, does not want to tell you the problems he's facing, maybe because he feels that, and that's why if you take a lesson from drunk people don't send. As they want to drink one or two, they will tell you their whole problem. Not because the next person can help them solve it, but because it's liberating.
Yeah, I think because there's also a place where friends have to consciously have a safe space where you can talk about your flaws and talk about your mistakes, and they can either beat. Okay, see this thing now. I think some of our wives,
yes,
if they're in our midst, they always used to. They are always perplexed. They don't understand why we stay friends.
Yes.
When we start with each other, when we correlate them into the friendship.
See, this morning I already complained to my wife. I said, Timi is stressing my life. God, you cannot just listen for once. Jesus Christ. How long does it take? Is this how hard it is to just make a simple phone call? Like the prep that needs to go into this. I'm like, God. But maybe I'm doing the call now.
So you see what I'm saying? I noticed sometimes they don't understand the mix.
Yes.
So because they look at that, we can sound even very harsh with each other when we are telling each other the truth. Maybe that's also an issue too. I think we should maybe know how we tone down on that. But that's a story for another day.
We are not married now. We cannot just be blasting ourselves.
Most times when we do all those things and we do all those banters and everything, at the end of the day, it's all love. Because you cannot call me and that you are in a serious situation, a dire situation. Bro, the sleep will clear from my face.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
if you're in need of prayer, I would pray.
Yes.
If you're in need of fasting,
money,
if you're in need of money, I will send it.
Okay, that's good. Everybody, people heard that too.
Yeah. No, that's the truth. If I have it that time, I would. It's just the way it is.
Don't say if I have it. You can borrow on my.
No, I will always have it. I will always have, and I will send.
That's good.
So what I'm saying is, it's just and it's not like we are forming for each other, because it's not like.
But that's the thing. It's the forming part that is the problem. I feel bad for people that don't have friends that they can be open to and tell them, guys, this is what I'm going through. And not just, not just, you remember Timi, there was a time that I did not have a job, that I was looking for a job. And it's normal, like, you're a guy, it's normal.
Everybody goes through that.
Yeah, it's normal for you to feel reclusive and feel that, things are very, very hard. I'm not able to meet up to, the usual thing I do and the normal way I live my life. And then we all want to crawl into our space till we figure it out. Then we come outside again. And in that period, and you know more about this, but in that period, I also felt the same way because, it hit me hard. I couldn't go to work. I didn't have enough money, And while a lot of good things came out of that period, when you reflect, you start to see that truly, it was a good time for me to do things. But in terms of friends, in terms of people around me, being able to encourage, because that period that I met, I started going to some places, met some people, let's go and see a movie, don't worry, it's on me, kind of thing. Those things help, and it made me realize at that time that the closest friends are the people that, even if they cannot give you a job at that time, right, they lift your spirits, because that is what you need to be, in that state where you don't feel down, you don't feel everything is not working, and then you start taking drastic measures.
That's how a lot of my people became your people.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
That
that's
you
how
can now call them yourself.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say without getting into too much details. But I'm saying that it's that period I realized that it's important to not go into your shell. It happens, like it's a natural reaction. You don't want to, you feel naked outside because you are not able to do what you normally can do. So it's an esteem thing, it's a mental thing, it's a financial thing. But you need to have people around you that understand and do not measure you based on those standards, because that's the standard a lot of people measure people on, right?
Yeah, true.
But where I can tell my guy, whether you have money, you don't have money, whether you have this, it does not matter, you're my guy, alpha. And I like the fact that most of our friends, or a good portion of my home friends, we all grew up. I know your mother, I know your father, you know my mother, you know my father. I cannot, no matter what, I cannot just wake up one day and start forming for you, because the slap you slap me, like, are you okay? Are you okay? You get that kind of thing. It's a good thing, because when we get outside, people in the world don't know our background, people in the world don't know us. So the friends that we make along the way really do not know those values that you're trying to talk about, or the things that molded you into who you are today. Because I feel that most of the things I learned in my life, I learned them right up to when I was a teenager. I think by the time I was 18, 19, 20, every other thing is just a tweak of my overall personality.
Or your real personality has been formed.
But your fundamental personality has been formed. If you did not learn a lot of fundamental values at that time, friendship, being kind, being respectful, being honest, and being like those fundamental things, you start to see, that's when people start to struggle later on, where they don't see something as a problem, like it's not a big deal. But that's because from their childhood right up to that point, they never saw it as a big deal. So when they go into a different environment where it's a big deal, it's not making sense. Most of the way we think about things, our mentality is formed right up to that time with our experiences, with our upbringing, with our friends. All of those things are formed in that space, in my opinion anyways. And then every other thing requires either a conscious effort to start or stop something, or it just gets refined with age. And then because if you are a funny person, more often than not, you are always going to be a funny person. Now you might not be overly funny and jumping up and down kind of.
You might not be a comedian, but
you might not be a comedian every day or every time, but you are not, unless you actively work on not being a funny person, it will just come naturally, because that is the kind of person that you are. People that I know that used to talk a lot when we were in secondary school, they still talk a lot today. It's true. You can refine it, you can fine-tune it, you can try to make it a bit better, but fundamentally, you are a worthy person. So unless you make a conscious effort to say, I'm not going to talk today, I'm not going to talk tomorrow, and then you consciously have to walk through that process to change that part of you, more often than not, you will always be that kind of person. It will just be refined. As you get older, you probably will speak less naturally. But quiet people, are always quiet, unless again the opposite. So that's the thing for me. I think it's
the early point is the point where you do character formation, and all those things, your foundation, and then you build on it over the years. I think that's one key thing to summarize all that we have said.
Okay.
We've talked about friendship past. So one thing I want us to go into, when we see, I know that values would align friendship at the long run. Like you start to see, like they say 20 friends cannot play for 20 years. You start to, if we had looked at it, Nosa, in our growing up, we should not be, I think we are the closest.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be. The way it was, the way the projection was going, it shouldn't be. You'd have thought it would have been you and Gabriel, or maybe you and Coyote. Maybe because Coyote left.
Yes.
You knew all this, or even you and Chooks. Oh, okay, you went to school with Yinka. So there are a lot of factors that later makes friendship morph. And I think one of the issue where, like when you were explaining that people don't talk to themselves, it's also a thing of if there's an underlying pride where you cannot open up. When you start to see that people cannot open up, pride is lurking somewhere for whatever. It looks like the person is, yes, obviously maybe depressed or going through a lot. But if you are not careful, when you cannot ask for help, when you cannot call out for help, there's underlying pride. So you see, there are two things I talked about now. I'm talking about the fact that character from people's personality, friendship begins to disperse and become smaller. The circle becomes smaller, and also the fact that when they are in trouble and they don't call for help, most times, it's not all the time, there are different factors. But I think a huge factor is also the thing of pride.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say pride definitely, but as young people growing up, it's less of pride and more of fear of judgment or fear of being outcast in a way or not being accepted. And that's also because of the fundamental values of the friendship. So, for example, let's assume that you have 3 people who we all do something together. There's a way we do things, but you are now starting to do something that does not align with what the friends do or believe. And it's not pride at that point. It's a fear of, I cannot come and tell these people that this is what I'm doing because
I know what they stand for.
I know that I'm not supposed to do this one, and these guys are going to rip me to shreds.
Yeah, true.
And so it's a thing of fear, or it's a fear thing. So I especially for us when we are young, it's same with peer pressure as well, right? So you get pressure to do something from external forces, and peer pressure is a natural, consistent problem that even as adults we deal with. As adults, we call it more of a cultural norm. You go into a company and everybody does things in a particular way, or you go into a place and everybody does things in a particular way. We don't call it peer pressure, but you are pressured to conform, right?
True.
So, and then when you don't conform, you are the outlier.
That happened to me recently. I won't lie to you.
Exactly.
I had to snap out of it. Thank God for phone door, because you just notice you started dressing a type of way, and it's because it's what you see every time.
Exactly. And me, I am susceptible to that. I'll not even lie, because even though I like a particular thing, I might feel I'm going to be overdressed for this, or nobody dresses like this here, or nobody does things like this here. So I just by default just
tone it down,
and then my own toning down does not even go from too much to middle. I just say, I beg, I will start looking closer to what these people do. So it's a conscious thing to fight back and mentally say no. And no, it is like that. Different. It is like that. She does not believe in being like everybody else and stuff like that. And me, I'm always...
She's not a conformist.
She's not a conformist. Me, on the other hand, I'm always like, I've gone there, they're like this. And it doesn't bother me. So I'll just switch up my style. I will switch up my style. Then the day I feel like it, I will do like that. But I'm more likely to conform. And I know that's the thing about me. But that's me knowing myself that, okay, now I know that I'm more susceptible to conform. But now as a kid, And it's the same thing even as a kid. If you are susceptible to peer pressure, it affects growing up. And I would say that even as a younger kid, I was more susceptible to it than now. I'm an adult. I can look back and say that, yeah, it's something that is in my character, and I have to be conscious, of it. That
there might be factors to it, but it's there.
Yes.
So you must consciously get it out.
I must consciously either pause and ask myself if it really matters, or if it is in conflict with my values, and then I now try to fight that. But if I don't stop and ask myself, before I know, I've started to conform, so I have to always stop. But that takes time and learning yourself and learning how you are and things like that. Do you get? And then asking yourself how this aligns with your values and stuff. And again, we all make mistakes. So again, this is not a perfectionist world where you are always right and you always get it right. But it takes learning and but anyways, back to my point. It's a mixture. I think it's a fear thing, or a fear of judgment, or a fear of being outcast, or a fear of being, of being reprimanded by your guys, especially when you know that it's not something that they align with. And that is what causes friends in time to start to detach. Also, distance can cause that. And like a change in values. You start rolling with other people, and you start and what they do, and so you go away for a while, and then you become a different person based on the environment and the new friends you have started to keep, and then you come back to your old circle and you realize that the values here don't align
any longer, and nobody's waiting. People have moved on too,
and yes, exactly. Life is in a constant state of flux, so everything is always moving, nothing is waiting. So when it comes back, it's now difficult to integrate back into it, and then you're like, I'll just stick with what I'm good at. And those things, again, can go from good to bad to good. You might have a good group, and then you go out and you join a bad gang, or you might have a bad group and then you go out and you see the light and you're like, so whichever way this goes, it's just natural with how life is and how how life is designed. So it's first of all realizing, and it's hard because we are talking now, or we are in our 30s now. I can't imagine knowing this or understanding this at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And the problem is that our parents or the older people were trying to tell us.
But we did not, coconut head.
Do you get? And so it's like a consistent battle. It's a consistent battle of trying to help people that are coming to toe the right line, because your experiences have taught you what is right and how to do it.
But they refuse to listen until they learn it themselves, and the circle continues.
So what I would say benefited us, first of all, guarded us, because there were so many. When I think back, there were so many ways that I could have.
As in, bro,
my life would have been way worse than it is.
As much
now.
as it looked like a safe space, it was not safe. Looking back,
because but I would say that there were fundamentals. We went to church. We had good teachers. We always heard the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. What was good, what was wrong, what was bad, what we needed to do. Those things, after a while, become embedded.
Shout out to Bro Somi, Brother Fifi,
yes,
and these guys, because you know that there was a day I sat down and I looked at my childhood and I looked at where I am now, and I looked at one of the underappreciated people are children church leaders.
Yes.
Children church leaders are not appreciated because, one, they are not even in the main auditorium. Sometimes they are not even pastors. So they don't get seed. Nobody is sowing into their life. Nobody is handing them anything. Sometimes they are working, so they are not even on the payroll of the church. So if you are not careful, a children worker might not get monetary gain. But
they might come to church and all they do is give. Like, they are not getting anything.
I think it is ideal that as adults we look back at our childhood and look at some people that have impacted us, that their sacrifice following us to camp, it was sacrifice. They were not doing it for themselves.
Yeah.
Their sacrifice had brought us here, and sometimes it's good to just look back and give back, give to them,
like,
help their children and all those things. Because I thought about it one day, I was overwhelmed. I just thought, I remembered bro Somi, like camp after camp. See bro Moses,
I still keep in touch with Uncle Somi till today.
Okay, now we have like a checking up relationship now.
I do.
We did not used to. I had to reach out to just say, Bro Somi was our childhood teacher in children's church.
So for me, funny enough, I still remember like the people that I put at the back of my mind when it comes to me and my childhood. Bro Somi, for sure. Titi Oyimbia. I don't know if you still remember Auntie Titi Oyimbia.
I know Auntie Titi, but Auntie Titi didn't really have direct influence on
maybe
me
because when you came later, but Auntie Titi was there for a while until she got married and she moved.
I know when I met her, but as at the time I was there, she wasn't directly involved with us. Then, another person is even Uncle David.
Reverend Babalola. Well, I'll get to Brother David. Reverend Babalola, he was our children's pastor for years.
I met him, but when I came, it was not too long till he was.
So Reverend Babalola was my children's pastor for years. That man, God rest his soul, because I know he's passed on, but that man is single-handedly responsible, in my own opinion, for thousands of lives of children who are doing it right today. Reverend Babalola, there was one other person that was Fagorusi's Mommy Fagorusi. Mommy Fagorusi was my own Sunday school teacher.
Mommy Fagorusi.
Mommy Fagorusi was my Sunday school teacher for a long time.
Yeah, she was even leading the children's church at the time.
Yes. Then there is this mama that used to be downstairs in the children's church. I don't know if she's still alive.
Is it Mommy Ologun?
Mommy Ologun. You see those Mommy Ologun, all those people.
See Mommy Ologun now. People don't even remember her. Yeah.
So before we now talk about Brother David, and Brother David, I say Brother David because Brother David had a direct influence on us, especially musically, and helping us. You know how like young people get into, when you start getting into your teenagers, and young people get into sports, young people get into boxing or something, dancing. For us it was music, and Brother David was a key part of that. So Brother David helped us in anything I know musically today. I always attribute it to him, even though I'm not using it for anything. But I'm not making. But
look, you use it to serve God, don't you? Use it to serve God?
Yes. But look at Chooks, for example. Even though if you try and sing now, birds will close their ear. But at least you try.
I still got it.
Watch. But my brother, for example, can play the keyboard, can play the bass. He's written music. He's like all of that. I will not and I cannot attribute a lot to those guys, right? These guys, and that's why if you look at, I feel bad for children today because father and mother, they are working, and then children, where are they? We would be with
the grandparents too.
Like we will be in church, right? And these people were always there.
It's the truth. We first time. Okay, yes, I know I'd fasted even before I came to Foursquare as a child. We've done like light fasting and the like, but major fasting that I did it in Foursquare. I did it with Miracle Voices. Uncle David will tell you fast. We'll take our food. We'll break maybe by 12.
We used to do retreats.
All those things. Then I think I was like maybe 10, 9, 10. They're about 10. When I look back, I'm like,
yeah. Those are values. Those are the values. That's what I'm saying. It's not as if now to fast is very hard for me. I'll not even lie. But I know
ADD.
Yes.
Continue.
But I'm just saying that I know sometimes that so I fast, so I try to fast once a week right now. And I have my day of fasting, right? But I'm saying that even if I'm not, there's something that will call you and say, you need to fast, or it's that sound, it's that noise, it's that voice that tells you, that pulls you back, that tries to center you back and say, you've been eating like this thing. You need to what's the word? Consecrate yourself for like a day or two, and go and deal with God before you come outside and continue eating burger. Because in this place, burger is everywhere, my brother. Burger, it's not hard to burger up.
I like the way our conversation has been centered on friendship, family. Even like I used to say it, I consider Emmanuel as family. There are ways where somebody comes into your life, and to a certain extent, they might become even closer than immediate family.
Yeah.
And it happens a lot of time. I was talking to my sister Moyo recently, and she was telling me she liked the fact that she can reach out to my circle has become a circle. So if Moyo calls you for something now, sometimes I don't know. She's not calling Timi's friend.
Yeah, now she's calling her G. Is it not Moyo that the boxers I'm wearing? Is it not Moyo that bought it for me? It's not Moyo I call. I say Moyo I make any boxers. No, but that's the thing. Like
that is rare, bro. This thing that you're saying, I like the fact that we are trying to. We've been able, at least I know of you, I know of Emmanuel, that we've taken it even into our marriage. If I pick up the phone and call Ndidi, I'm not calling Ndidi because she's Nosa's wife. I'm calling her because I just want to check on her.
Yeah.
She can. Yeah. It's not. It doesn't. And I will not need to say, Nosa, please, can you help me tell your wife?
Yeah. It's just like
if you're not careful, now your wife go snitch on
you. Exactly. It's just like phone talk as well, right? Where sometimes I would say, to me, I better give phone to phone talk. If she does not have phone number, and like say, better go and call her by herself. It's one of the good things. Like
but one thing I would say is that one thing that builds friendship is a lot of forgiving. It's a lot of looking away and extending mercy, knowing that you yourself have flaws and knowing how to accommodate the flaws, not in a bid to just sit on the flaws, but in a bid to change and give the person time to change. You understand? Extend graces. Because I want to believe we've had our issues in the past. We don't even have sensitive issues any longer. Exactly. If we shout on ourselves, you go sensitive for your house, go cry to your wife when you come back.
And even if so, this is where I'm even going. Like friendship is like there will always be like the difficult periods and the argument periods and the clash. It's normal. Even husband and wife have clash steady. And you were talking about it's about a lot of forgiveness and things like that, but it's with every relationship. Where something, if you care about somebody, even if people fight, as long as the underlying thing there is love, or the underlying thing is your friendship, you will hash it out eventually, right? You will hash it out. And sometimes there are things that I've done to some of my close friends as well. And that's the thing, I have different circles just because of the different places I've been. When I was in the UK, there were friends I made there that are a very close circle of mine that are different from like you, which is another very close circle of mine as well. And friends I made in Aberdeen, even when I came here to Canada, I lived in one of them. I lived in their house. Like when I landed, I lived in that house for a couple of months, and the person vouched for me when I was going to take my rent in the basement of that same house. Like, and then we, like me and my friends, occupied the entire building, main house and basement. If you were not someone that could build those kind of circles and friends, nobody will want you to even start to live that close to them, right? So, and the reason why I say that is because you need to be able to know that there are sometimes you go out of bounds, or you go mess up, and they mess up back, but you know that this person is not doing it out of malice. And I used to tell my wife some things, that there are some things that might come off as if it was insensitive or something, but you always need to know that the underlying intention for anything
is from love. It's from a place of love.
Yes, it doesn't have malice to it, so it might come off very, very badly, but understand that there was not the intention. The intention,
say it's love.
The intention to it from the onset. You know, it cannot, like, especially for me, it's not malice. Factors can line up that now makes it very, very bad, but the intention from the start cannot be malice, because if it is aimed to hurt somebody, or if it's aimed with bitterness, then you are not a friend. You know, so that's how I see it. And again, it takes a lot of learning to me, you know, to get to that point. It takes a lot of
mistakes.
It takes a lot of mistakes too.
It takes a lot of forgiving
and to let things go.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of mistakes. It takes a lot of learning, you know, to get to that point where you understand, and then you're able to get where you know yourself.
And if you are truly friends, there should be a place of I'm sorry.
Exactly. Once you are truly friends, you know, you get to a point where you know that the intentions were not to hurt you or to make you feel bad, you know. And that's what the friendship
and that was not my intention. Now like this.
Exactly. It wasn't my intention to do this. It might be because it was lackadaisical, or factors aligned, you know, to make it become a problem, right? But when you look at it,
maybe it was lackadaisical, maybe it was, but now your guy, you know, he has a track record.
He has a track record. Exactly.
He has a track record.
Like you know your guy at that point. Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of how me and I see it, to be honest. Yes. Now, of course.
Nosa, it was very good having you today.
Yeah,
I want to tell you that
I'm actually happy.
I don't say this often, but I still, every time, it's always a great time talking to you. And I can say that people, after listening to this episode, will understand when I say sometimes when I pick up the phone and call friends in my circle, it's like I should have recorded that call. And so I'm letting you in now to that kind of conversations that we have. Conversations that leave you edified, conversations that leave you thinking about life in a positive and in a very good way.
What?
And I think one of the underlying factors that we mentioned is that we had foundations that were rested on God.
Yes.
We are church boys. We are still church boys.
I'm still a church boy.
And these are just listen again.
Yeah.
So thank you, people, for joining us today again. Nosa, thank you again.
My pleasure.
And
it's important for them to hear me say now that all these things they are saying now, it's all me. It's all me. It's all my hard work, blood and tears. Blood and tears.
Don't take the glory of what God has done.
No, God will take the glory. God will take the glory, but it's my blood and tears. Yes, now.
So people, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Live Moments.
Yeah.
Peace. God bless you.
Peace. Nice one, guys.
No, sir, this was good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. God bless you.